Welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to make two different whip braids using two different methods. As far as I know, there are three ways to make a whip braid, and one of those is with the dowel rod. I do not have a video for that. I have tried to make one in the past and it didn't work very well, so hopefully we can get TJ to make us one sometime in the future. So in this video I'm doing the burgundy and black, and then the candy cane striped one in royal and black. So this is the method I used for years to make a whip braid, and in this one I'm doubling the ribbons. You do not have to double ribbons on a whip braid. If you're using white and then a dark color, I would suggest doubling the white for sure. Sometimes it's hard to just double one color and braid and make a braid because you can tell the difference in the thickness, so you may want to double both, but that's just up to you. I think they turned out really crisp and clean looking. The colors are very, very vivid, but you want to lay out your ribbons exactly as I'm showing you, and you want to lay the colors exactly as I'm showing you. The two black on the bottom and then the two blues on the top, so whatever color combination you're using, this is going to give you that candy cane stripe. And then I put a staple in just to hold it in place, but I'm going to remove it later. And so anyway, Connie has shown me a new way to make this braid, and that's the way I've been making it because I do think it's easier and you don't have to come back and fix the top later. So you want to lift that top middle ribbon, and then you want to do your two side ribbons like I'm showing you. So you're crisscrossing them, and the one on the left goes on top of the right one. And then you take that right one and you put it back over the blue, so it goes under and over the blue. And then you're going to take the black and you're going to go under the black ribbon, the bottom black ribbon, and then bring it back around on top of the black ribbon. So what works good about this color combination, or doing the candy cane stripe, you know that the blue is always going to go under and over the blue, and the black is always going to go under and over the black. But the blue needs to go under not only the blue, but under the top black as well. That's what combines them together. If you just wrap it around the blue and wrap the black only around the black, then they're not going to be combined. So you have to wrap that blue up under the middle blue and then the top black, and then come back over on top of the blue. And I know it does not look like a whip braid right now, but it will. I actually learned this version. I don't know if anybody else does this version that didn't learn it for me, because I actually taught myself this version. I had seen like a picture tutorial on how to do the dowel rod one, and I figured it out. It was not real easy to learn from either, but I did figure it out, but then I couldn't do videos on it. It just, because you can't get the dowel rod's so long, and I mean, maybe if we did a short dowel rod, but it was just too hard to stay in the frame, and it was too hard to, it just wasn't good quality. I just couldn't get a good picture of what I was doing. So I had to figure out another way to make the whip braid that was easier to show on camera, and that's when I came up with this version. And then I started just only making it this way because I was so used to doing it for the tutorials that was the way I made them. And you see, like, once you start pulling those ribbons, it finally starts looking like a whip braid. But of course, the way I have the colors laid out, you're getting a candy cane stripe. So now, I have not tried a candy cane stripe with the new method that I'm using, the Connie method, I'm going to call it. But I was told by a couple of people that it is possible to do it. I know Amanda, our American Amanda, told me to use double-sided tape, and if that doesn't make sense, we'll talk about that when I start the other one. And I don't know if I mentioned, but the other two whip braids that I showed in the picture at the beginning, the orange and black, and what was the other one? Purple and gold. I did a separate video for those. I used the same method. I used Connie's method on both of those, and I have a separate video for those. they are already out. I will link that in the description. Not in the description. I'll link a card across the top of the video, so if you want to go back and see that one. And I also have a playlist that's just whip braids, so all of my whip braid tutorials will be in there, except for that dowel rod one. I enlisted that one because it was so terrible. It's still out there though. Anybody that saved it still has it, but hopefully not very many people have it, because like I said, it was really bad and you just couldn't learn from it. I got a lot of negative remarks from that one. But you just keep braiding until you get to the bottom, and you braid a little bit and then you pull the ribbons because you want it to stay snug. And I do like this candy cane stripe. I just think it's a way to change it up. So if they got a whip braid the year before with the regular diamond pattern, you can do this to give them something a little bit different. So you either keep going until you run out of ribbons, or you go until you get the length that you're needing. So whichever one comes first. And if it's not long enough, there's things you can do. You could put a bow with tails. You can leave the tails on, or add a bunch of tails on the bottom. You could do even 6 inches worth of tails on the bottom. You could add a whole bunch of curly ribbon at the bottom. You could do a feather puff. You could do, I can't even think. You could do other things to add some length on the bottom there. So don't get frustrated and think you have to make one all over again if it's not the exact length you need. If you're just missing a few inches, it's fine. So just keep tightening like I'm showing and wrapping. So you see the black goes around, behind the black, and on top of the black, and then under the blue. And then the blue goes under the blue and black, and then back around on top of the blue. And I have several videos showing this method right here. I made it over and over again because people kept asking. I think I even did one with 3 or 4 different colors to try to help show which ribbons I'm using. A lot of times I find that helpful on a video if I use all different colors of ribbons to show where each ribbon is actually going, because it's easier to follow along if you know which ribbon is which. So you just need to find, I know everybody makes whip braids differently. Like I said, I only know of the 3 methods. I'm sure there's other people that do them differently, but just find a method that works for you. I know so many people struggle with this braid, and I did too a little bit at first. It took me a little while, but once you get it, it's really easy to do. Once you get it, you get it. And I think everybody will say that. And sometimes even after it's been months that I've made one, I have to go back and watch a video to see how to start it. And it's that way with a few braids, because I'll just, you can make them over and over again without even thinking about it. And then if it's been a few months, you need a refresher. So you see, it's just the same pattern over and over again. Same braiding pattern. Keep pulling those ribbons so it's nice and snug. You still get the diamond pattern, but it's you have to look closely for it because of the way the ribbons, the colors come together. The way the ribbons fold over each other, it's still like a diamond pattern in there, but it's just not as noticeable because you'll have blue next to blues and blacks next to blacks. And once I figured out this candy cane pattern, I made it several times because I really, really liked it too. So again, that was something else that I had to figure out on my own, was how to make a candy cane pattern out of it. And I'm trying to make a 36-inch one, so this is a long one. And I will put the links in the description This is 7/8 inch width ribbon. I know I didn't say that already, but that's what it is. And you can make this out of 9/16 as well. And I have made it out of the number 9 too. It's not as easy, but you can do it. But I will put the links that you need for each size braid in the description. Just keep in mind that no two turn out exactly the same, so it never hurts to cut a few extra inches. I'd rather have some excess there to cut off, which you could save for loops if they're long enough. If you have 6 inches, or even if you have small pieces, that could work for a ring mum or something, a really small mum. So get a scrap box if you don't already have one and save your scraps. And then again, make sure you cut a few extra inches unless you're really secure on how long you need to cut each ribbon. Because I have gotten those comments too. I cut what you told me to and it didn't turn out right. Well, I'm sorry. That's what it worked for me. That doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. And a lot of times, you know, how tight you pull a braid can determine how long it is too. So no two people make the braid exactly the same. And, you know, I don't think no two ribbons are going to make the same braid either. So just be cautious of that. We put the links in there that we use, but that's not a guarantee. It's just a guide. It's really just a guide to go by. So it's always safe to add a few more. And then you want to close it up like I did, where you've got one set of ribbons going to the right, one set going to the left. Put a staple in it. Now with this version, I have to come back and take that staple out. I've tried just putting a clip on the end. It's just too heavy and it doesn't work. I just find that using a staple works best, and then removing it. And the reason why I have to remove it is because it's just kind of big and puffy up there. Now, if you knew that you were going to attach it to the backer up there, it probably wouldn't matter, because I'm just coming in and kind of pulling those tight and then folding them into it like an upside down V. But I really like my whip braids nice and snug and straight, so that's why I go to this extreme. Now with the other method that Connie taught me, you don't have to do this, you don't have to fix the top, so that's why I think it is a lot easier. You don't have to come back and do that, so it is time saving. So I will show you that one next in just a short braid. I'm not going to show the full length of the braid, but like I said, I just released one with 2 of the other braids that I showed in that picture, and they're both using the method I'm going to use on this one, so you can go back and watch that. And you can go back and watch one of her lives where she taught me how to make it. 55 is what I'm showing there. Now that's burgundy and black, and that should be 55 inches from the crease down. And then you crease them in the middle. Then I'm going to pull out 2 more, because I am doubling the ribbons. So fold them in half, go to the end. You don't have to measure the second time because you already know where to cut it. Alright, now I'm going to put the burgundy together and then the black together. And that's where the crease is, and then you want to fold and make like a point at the top. Again, you do not have to double the ribbons. If you want a nice thick braid, double them. And again, if you're using like white or very light color, you're probably going to want to double that. Again, I'm putting the black with the black, and then folding that down so it makes a point or an arrow. If you've not made one before, I would start with single ribbons and probably a shorter, much shorter length, and just keep playing around with it. Just keep making it and unraveling it and making again. Just keep using those same ribbons so you don't waste a bunch of ribbons. And then once you've got the braiding technique down, then make one for real. And I believe that for all braids. Okay, you want to weave the two colors together, and it doesn't matter which one is on top. You see on mine, the left ribbon, the left burgundy ribbon, the one on the very, very left is on top. But it doesn't matter if it's the very left ribbon or the very right ribbon, but that will be the one you start with. So fold it back behind you, and then go between the two black ribbons, and then come around and come back on top of the middle black ribbon. And I did slow this down, hopefully help you see where each ribbon is going. So you go back behind, between the two blacks, back around on top of the middle black. Now the black one goes back behind, between the two burgundy, and back over the top of the middle black. Between the two blacks, back around on top of the middle black. Now the black will go between the two burgundies. I'm just pulling those tight, making sure all of them are nice and snug. You see the top is very clean on the braid already, so you don't have to go back and fix anything, which is really, really nice. Now I'm going to go back to normal speed. You can adjust the speed on any video you're watching on YouTube. You hit the little settings button on the video, and it's playback speed. So you can make it slower or you can make it faster. So if you have trouble with any of these braid tutorials that we show, and you think we're going too fast or something, and I've had that comment several times, all you have to do is adjust that playback speed. You can slow it way down where we're doing it very, very slowly. So just whatever speed you need it to be at, you can do that. So that's any video on YouTube you're watching. Know that you can slow down or speed that up. I know a lot of people don't actually know that, so I try to tell people that over and over again so they know. And it's just the same pattern. You go back and forth between the two colors, going between, and then back over the middle one. Very simple. And like I said, I've got the purple and the orange one on a separate video, and I've got several whip braid tutorials if you want to go see those. I did not film doing the bows. Those are bows I've made many, many times on my mum tutorials. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. Please be kind with your comments. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Happy mum making, happy crafting, and I'll catch you all on the next one.